Hey guys, I'm still in Costa Rica. It's really bright outside, so I am going to be shutting my eyes a lot. I think this is the first time that I've actually done my hair because I knew I was going to be doing a video. I chose neutral grounds for this review because I want everyone to know that I'm not affiliated with Rythmia, but I do have really great things to say about it. And I want to share my experience with doing plant medicine, which in this particular case was ayahuasca and yahe. If it helps someone out there to understand what plant medicine is and what it does to you and what you could be expecting from your experience, and if you'd like to go to Rythmia, then definitely listen up. Firstly, I'm going to go over my own credentials as who I am, where I come from, and why I feel that I have the right to do a review from my perspective, my opinion. Second, I'm going to explain what ayahuasca is. Third, I'm going to go through what happens at Rythmia. Fourth, I'm going to go through the experiences that people have at Rythmia. Fifth, I am going to go through the afterwards after you leave Rythmia or you leave your plant medicine retreat. Six, I'm going to go through some precautions and things that people should be aware of when they're looking for a really good plant medicine place to experience plant medicine for the first time. I was trained in yoga. I think I have 300 hours of training. I did teach yoga a little bit. I wasn't that great at it, so I did stop doing that. I did go to school in journalism, so I am a very curious person. I go through a lot of research on a daily basis on the most random things. I also did a 10-day Vipassana or Vipassana, which is a silent meditation that a lot of people that are, being introduced to spirituality do. I also have been to India for 50 days with a guru. I'm not going to mention the name of the guru. Dr. Joe Dispenza work. I've also had a lot of health issues in my life, so a lot of my spiritual pursuit was because of that, is to first of all be able to heal my body naturally, because nothing that wasn't alternative wasn't helping. At Rythmia, we actually did 4 ceremonies within 1 week. And 3 of those ceremonies were ayahuasca based. One of the ceremonies was yahe. And ayahuasca depends on who you ask, but it is a plant medicine. From a spiritual perspective, it's a plant medicine that is a conduit to your soul or to the higher realms. Kind of have temporary death of the ego, get into the psyche, and heal past traumas, remember past events, painful events that need healing. Western or conventional understanding of ayahuasca would be that it's a psychedelic drug and that it creates visions and stuff in your head, which is also true. It's just I found that ayahuasca was definitely more of a medicine than a drug, because you need less and less of it the more sensitive you become to it, or the more stuff you heal out of your body. And yahe is a stronger version of ayahuasca. Some people would say stronger, some people would say it's a different brew. For me, my experience with ayahuasca was like being on cocaine for 3 days, and then my experience with yahe was like, boom, completely like being anchored and super heavy. Like I felt like I was a ton of bricks. I couldn't even get up. With ayahuasca, I could dance for 3 days, and then with yahe, I couldn't even get up to dance. The reason they do that, they finish their 4 days of ceremonies with yahe, is so that they can ground people back into their 3-dimensional world and into their reality before allowing them to move on with their lives. So you have 4 ceremonies within a span of a week. The first 3 ceremonies are ayahuasca. The last ceremony is yahe. The ayahuasca ceremonies, they are throughout the night, and you drink 2 cups per night. The yahe is 3 cups in 1 night. So at Rythmia, you get colonics, you get mud baths. If you don't know what colonics are, look them up. You get mud baths, you get a spa experience, a massage. So it is really a 5-star experience. It is great for North Americans who are not ready to go into a jungle in Peru and sit on the floor with snakes, or wake up with a spider next to their head, or to, go into the Amazon. It felt super safe. You get at least 1 paramedic per night with you guys. You get 2 shamans that are leading the ceremony, and then you always end up with at least 3 other shamans that are there helping the ceremony. And then you get about 20 helpers of people who have drank ayahuasca at least 100 times. So you get these wonderful people that are helping that aren't drinking very much ayahuasca, and some of them don't drink any at all during the ceremony, so that they can be completely there and present for you if you need physical help or if you need mental or emotional help. They're there for you. So some people are there to heal past traumas, being molested, being raped, being abused, any of that needs to be healed, or being abandoned, any of the things that need to be healed from your childhood will most likely take you into a more painful experience on the ayahuasca. If you're there to heal your heart, or if you need to be nurtured with love from your higher self, your spirit, or your spirit guides, you will most likely go through a more blissful and beautiful experience with ayahuasca, where it just gives you more love and is very tender with you. There are also those people who see aliens and demons and go to a completely different dimension, but a lower one. And then there are people that go to a completely different dimension and a higher one, where they see angels and angel wings and all sorts of higher dimension stuff. Now, there are also the type of people, very small percentage of them, that are completely ready, open, and receptive to receiving guidance from their soul or higher self on a bigger level. These people will literally hear their soul speak to them, or their higher self, so to speak. And a lot of the times these people are ready for career change, or need to be on their life path purpose or mission and have not been. So their soul will speak to them and tell them exactly what to do, how to live, and where to be. And that's what happened with Jerry. So if you go to the Rythmia website and you can read a little bit about Jerry's biography, he talks a lot about how his soul basically spoke to him. He calls his soul Miss Moon, and told him to open up this Rythmia Center, exactly how much to pay for the Rythmia Center. The whole thing is really quite a miracle. There was a lady there that also had a very demonic experience with her ayahuasca, and when she talked about it and shared it, what she realized is she is a very negative person in her day-to-day life. So when she went into her ayahuasca experiences, basically reflected back at her what she already was. So all her wounds, it was reflecting at her. So all of her negativity brought about these demons in this lower vibrational state where she was seeing all of these uncomfortable entities around her. And when she realized that and healed it, my goodness, like her eyes were just bright. The white in her eye was super, super white. She was super, super, like just high on life and love and compassion and all of those wonderful experiences. So again, everybody has a very different experience. But the good thing is on the other end of it, everyone comes out feeling brighter, better, more compassion, more love, more forgiving, and more healed. So there's really no bad experience. They're all great experiences. Every single person, no matter what their experience was like when they were on the medicine, whether they went to see aliens and demons or went through hell with seeing the experience of when they were molested or whatever happened to them, it doesn't matter. After the experience, after the ceremony, every single person felt lighter, happier, more forgiving, more compassionate. Experiences that used to bother them stopped bothering them. Things that used to trigger them stopped triggering them. Every single person had more light in their eyes. So the white of their eyes was brighter. And I don't think I've ever taken photos with no makeup on. I started taking photos with no makeup on. I just looked so good, like rested and just bright and airy and happy, and definitely more merged with myself, with who I really am supposed to be. Your third eye will be more open. How much open? Nobody knows. You will also hold more light in your body, because the more traumas you heal, the more stuff you go through, the more light you will have. So apparently the medicine does stay in your body for at least a week. You could have more nightmares if that's where your ceremonies took you. You could feel like you're still in ceremony when you go to sleep after the ceremonies. You could feel like you are being operated on, and that's usually the final touches of operating on a part of you that has been needing healing. You will get more visions because your third eye is more open. That's just a given. It's just, will you get higher vibrational visions, or will you get lower vibrational visions? That really depends on where you are at in your own consciousness and your own vibration. What I've noticed with plant medicines is they are wonderful, but they also don't have to be your first and foremost experience with spirituality and healing. It's much nicer, in my opinion, to be able to do the meditation, the yoga, the breath work, and lead yourself up into it. Because plant medicines can be harsh on your body and on your system and on you mentally. And I've known people who have gone into a state of paranoia after their plant medicines, but that's because there hasn't been enough work done beforehand. So to start off with plant medicines, I don't know if I would really recommend that. I'm sure other people would say differently, but I would say that having a meditation practice, having a yoga practice, having a cleansing practice, understanding a vegan diet, knowing that you can do it leading up to your ceremonies would definitely be a more practical way and an easier way to ease your body and everything into it. When you're choosing a center to do your ceremonies with, I would highly recommend Rythmia. Again, I'm not affiliated with Rythmia. I thought they were the most safest. Like, they are so safe. You really can't go wrong. You need to be able to trust your shaman. I've had friends that have had experiences where they thought they were being touched inappropriately when they were on a medicine. So I would highly recommend you know that your shaman is very experienced with the medicine. They need to be an ayahuasquera if they're doing the ayahuasca medicine for you, and they need to have done it many, many times, and they need to be of the light. Another thing I can't stress enough is you need to make sure that the shamans you work with are of the light and not of the dark, because shamans by nature end up being very powerful beings. They become almost supernatural beings, and they can shapeshift, and they can travel through different dimensions when they're on the medicine. And that power can be abused and can also be misused and mistreated. And there are shamans that could be doing more harm than good. So you have to be very aware of who you are working with and why. So definitely check TripAdvisor. Check and make sure people have been to this place. Doing just ayahuasca over a weekend or one night and then going back to your regular work without having the 3 days before and the 3 days after to come in and to come out of it, I find is not very safe. So please be aware of where you do your retreat and make sure it is an actual retreat. I know some retreats are more expensive, but there's obviously a really good reason for why they are. Again, I'm not affiliated with Rythmia, but I really enjoyed my experience. So much so, your question is probably, would I ever go back? And my answer is yes. In fact, we are going back next Monday to do our second week at Rythmia. That's how much we loved it, and that's how much we're excited to spend money on this type of plant medicine. Thanks so much. Have a good one.